Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're taking a stack of your sources today, getting into a really critical topic.
That's right. We're looking at AI in healthcare. Specifically, the challenges in deploying it somewhere as complex as India.
Yeah, and looking through the material, one thing just jumps out, doesn't it? The data, availability, and maybe even more, the quality of that data.
Absolutely fundamental. So our mission really for this deep dive is to extract the key insights. Why good data is, well, essential, not just helpful, and what the specific hurdles and maybe some steps forward are in India.
Okay, let's get into it. Because AI, it holds so much promise for healthcare, right? Faster diagnoses, better treatments.
Huge potential.
But actually using it effectively, it's clearly not simple. There are these big challenges. And like you said, the sources really point to data. The availability, the quality is maybe the biggest one.
It really is the starting point. You can think of these AI models like students. They need a lot of information to learn properly. Yep. So for healthcare AI, that means tons of high-quality, well-structured patient data. That's what they need to train on effectively.
Right. It comes back to that idea we see again and again in the sources. AI models are basically only as good as the data they're trained on.
Exactly. You feed them garbage or incomplete information, well, you can't expect them to make reliable calls on patient care. It just won't happen.
And getting that data, preparing it.
Yeah.
In India, that seemed to have its own unique set of problems. What are the specifics the sources highlight?
Oh, several major ones. The data landscape in India, it's often described as fragmented, unstructured, stored in all sorts of different formats.
Yeah.
And data quality itself, that's a really big concern.
Okay, fragmented, unstructured. Let's unpack that. What does that actually mean on the ground? Why is it such an issue?
Well, just imagine patient records aren't neat and tidy in one digital system. Nope. They're scattered, different hospitals, maybe using different software.
Or even paper.
Or even paper, exactly. Smaller clinics often still rely heavily on paper. Labs have their own databases. That's the fragmentation.
Okay.
And unstructured means the information in those records might be, doctors' handwritten notes, scanned images, tables formatted completely differently from one place to the next.
Okay. So it's like trying to build something when all the pieces are different shapes and scattered all over the place.
That's a great analogy. And the result, a massive lack of standardization, just no consistency.
Right. No common language for really crucial information.
Precisely.
And that lack of standard formats, standard terms, like medical codes, I can immediately see how that makes integrating data for AI just incredibly hard.
It's a huge hurdle. Before an AI can even start learning, you've got this mountain of raw, messy data. It needs intense cleaning, standardization, transforming it into something the AI can actually, understand.
So it's not just about getting the data, it's this enormous prep job first. What kind of work is involved?
Oh, it's incredibly intensive. You're dealing with missing values. Maybe a test result just wasn't recorded.
Right.
You're identifying outliers, weird readings that could be errors, or maybe they're real and important. You have to figure that out. And constantly battling inconsistencies, like the same patient's name spelled slightly differently across systems, or different codes used for the exact same diagnosis in different hospitals.
Wow. Okay. And if that really careful, difficult work isn't done right, if the AI learns from data that's, messy, incomplete, or maybe not even representative, what happens then, especially in healthcare?
The consequences can be really severe. Poor data quality, it can lead straight to AI models that are just inaccurate. They make the wrong predictions, the wrong diagnoses.
Inaccuracy is bad enough.
But it gets worse. It can lead to biased models, and that's a huge concern.
Bias in AI. We hear a lot about that. How does it play out here with this kind of data problem in healthcare?
Well, think about the sheer diversity in India, right? Genetics, lifestyle, environment, culture affecting care seeking, language, socioeconomic factors. It's incredibly varied.
Huge diversity.
So if your training data doesn't properly capture that diversity, if it mostly comes from, say, certain types of hospitals or certain regions,
then the AI trained on it might not work well for everyone else.
Exactly. The model might perform okay for the groups represented in the data, but poorly or even unfairly for others. It could actually make existing health disparities worse.
So an AI trained mainly on urban data might fail a patient in a rural setting.
Precisely. That's why the sources stress this so much. Training AI on a large, genuinely representative data set reflecting all of India's diversity isn't just good practice. It's essential for accuracy and fairness.
That's such a critical point. Okay, so we had these big data hurdles: fragmentation, no standards, quality issues, the serious risk of bias. What do the sources suggest? What steps are needed to actually, tackle this in India?
They point to a few key areas. First, really robust data assessment and preparation. You have to acknowledge the state of the data first, then seriously invest in cleaning it, standardizing it, transforming it before you even start thinking about AI training.
Makes sense. Get the foundation right.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of privacy and security. That's non-negotiable with health data.
Absolutely.
So implementing strong measures is highlighted everywhere. Things like anonymization, stripping out identifiers, or pseudonymization, replacing them with codes. These are vital to protect patient confidentiality, but still allow data use for research and AI.
And presumably following the rules.
Oh, definitely. Strict compliance with Indian regulations is key. The IT Act, guidelines from the National Health Authority, things like that. You have to operate within that legal framework.
The sources also mentioned something about a framework for the data itself, governance.
Yes, a clear data governance framework. That's crucial. It basically sets the rules of the road. Who owns the data, who gets to access it, how it's managed, the security protocols. It ensures data is handled responsibly, ethically.
Okay. Are there actual, big initiatives happening in India trying to fix this data foundation problem, to boost availability and standardization?
Yes, absolutely. And this is where there's some real positive movement. The Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, ABDM, is a major one. Its whole goal is creating a unified digital health infrastructure for the country.
A unified infrastructure.
Yeah.
How does that directly help with the data issues we've been talking about? Fragmentation, standards.
Well, a core part of ABDM is pushing for, and in some cases mandating, common standards, like FHIR, that's Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resources.
FHIR.
Yeah, FHIR is designed specifically to make it easier for different healthcare systems to talk to each other, to exchange information smoothly. The sources mentioned it explicitly as a way to improve interoperability, to bridge the gap between those separate systems.
So it helps connect the dots, makes the data potentially more usable for AI.
Exactly. It helps tackle that fragmentation problem head on.
So it's not just talking about the problem. There are concrete, large-scale efforts trying to build that necessary data layer.
Yes. But overcoming all these challenges, it needs a strategic approach, right? It means investing in data collection and standardization. It means putting that robust data governance in place.
And maybe focusing efforts.
Yeah, maybe focusing on practical AI applications where the data is, let's say, a bit more ready to start with, high-impact areas, and really importantly, working closely with local experts, people who really understand the Indian healthcare system and its data nuances.
It really does keep coming back to that core message in the sources, doesn't it? That strong data foundation, reliable, representative data. It's not just a step, it's the essential prerequisite. You can't build trustworthy, effective AI in Indian healthcare without it.
Absolutely. The potential of AI is massive, no doubt, but sorting out the data is the critical first piece of the puzzle.
So we've really dug into this central challenge: data quality, data availability for AI in Indian healthcare. And it's just so clear AI's amazing potential hinges completely on having lots of high-quality, standardized, and crucially representative data.
Yeah, we've seen how tackling the fragmented records, the lack of standards, ensuring governance and privacy, these aren't just technical things. They're fundamental for building AI that's accurate, fair, and actually trustworthy for India's incredibly diverse population.
And it is hopeful to see initiatives like ABDM pushing for standards like FHIR. Shows there's a path forward, towards better data infrastructure through standardization and integration.
Definitely. By facing these challenges squarely, committing to really rigorous data practices, cleaning, governance, security, all of it, that's how we build the foundation. That's what lets us unlock AI's potential as a truly powerful, equitable force for a healthier future.
Okay, here's something to maybe leave you thinking about. Healthcare needs always change. AI evolves incredibly fast, and ensuring fairness across India's diversity is paramount. So even if we build strong data foundations now, how do we make sure these AI systems stay equitable and representative for all patients in India, not just today, but looking years down the line? How do we maintain that trustworthiness long term?